Let me talk a little about the process of debugging. Debugging is finding errors in our code or bugs in our code. I'm going to come back to the C# project for our simple calculator. And I'm in the btn divide underscore click procedure or event procedure. I'm going to change that / to a \. And I'm just going to click somewhere, and you'll notice a couple things here. It puts some little red squigglies underneath my code here, and that's a visual clue that something's wrong with your code. It's not going to compile as it is. I also see down here at the bottom a list of errors, and it's telling me where there's some problems, and I can scroll through this list, and I notice that I actually have 6 errors here. Now all I did was change one character, and that produced 6 different errors. With each error, it shows me a description of that error, in this case unexpected character \, which file it's located in, the line that it's on, and the column, and the project it's in. Now I can actually come over here and just double click on it, and it's going to take me to that location. Notice it highlighted the \ there, so it's a quick way to get to an error. I'm going to say that I didn't notice the error, and I'm going to try to compile it. And when I try to compile it, it tells me there were build errors. Would you like to continue and run the last successful build? The build is the process of compiling this into an executable, and it didn't succeed this time because of that error. Normally, you'd probably always want to say, no, I do not want to continue. I want to go back and fix my error. So if I double click on this first error, it highlights where that error is, and I recognize, oh, that should have been a /. And I make that change. And now, making that one change in one error resolved all the other errors. And now I can compile it, and it works just fine. So now I'm in my Visual Basic project. I'm going to go to the btn division, and I'm going to change that / to a \. Now something a little bit different happened here. It didn't give me any errors. In fact, if I compile this and I divide 12 by 5, I get a solution of 2. It seemed to work, but I didn't get the value that I expected. I expected 2.4. So here's what's going on in this particular case in Visual Basic, is that error that I was trying to create actually didn't create a compiling error. It compiles just fine. It really created a logic error because a \ in VB is an operation. It's an integer division. So when I run this thing and I say 12 divided by 5, what it's doing is it's giving me an integer value without the decimal. It's truncating the decimal. That's what an integer division does. Integer division is available in Visual Basic, but that operator is not available in C#. There's some other ways to make that happen in C# if you want to do an integer division. So we can have an error and not have it be really noticeable. I didn't get the result I wanted. That's an error. That's a logic error. And so I may have to search in this case to figure out why I'm not getting the result. And hopefully, after I stare at this for a few minutes, I realize that this should have been a / and not a \. And then I recompile, and now I get that 2.4 that I expect. Let me do one more thing here in terms of making changes and trying to improve our program. I'm going to do 12.7 divided by 5.6. And I get a really long number here, lots of decimal numbers. I'd like to have that display as 2 decimal values. So part of the debugging process also includes going back and trying to improve your project. And in this particular case, I'm going to add a little bit of code, and that is in this txt solution.text equals c.toString. Inside the parentheses of that statement, I'm going to add a quote, n2 quote. And what that says is take this value and you convert it to a string Make it a number with 2 decimals. That's what the N2 does. So now if I run this again, and I say 12.7 divided by 5.6, now I get 2.27. I'm getting just 2 decimals. It's rounding up or rounding down based on the other decimal values beyond that.